New York Post has this article. The mother of the hulking Florida teen who beat his female teacher unconscious over a Nintendo Switch video game claimed that prison time would be a death sentence for her convicted son. Leanna Deppa, who pleaded for leniency for the now 18-year-old Brendan Deppa, who faces up to 30 years behind bars for slamming Matanzas high school paraprofessional Joanne Nadick to the floor before kicking and punching her in the back and head more than a dozen times. And the video of that attack, you've probably seen it. We played it on the show. We don't have to play it again. It's just a brutal, savage attack on this woman, and thank God did not kill her, but could have easily killed her. In her first public appearance since the February beatdown, the grieving mother Wednesday begged Nadick to request that the 6'6" teenager be handed a lighter punishment. But as of now, the teacher has said that she wants her attacker sentenced to the maximum of 30 years behind bars. Here is the mother on News Nation talking about this. Let's watch it.
I am so sorry for what my son did. And nobody should ever have to go through that. But at the same time, please consider that my son has had a hard life. And he's gone through so much trauma in his life. He has autism. Please show mercy to him. It's devastating that my heart is breaking. I'm terrified for my child. I feel like if he gets sentenced to prison, it's a death sentence for him. He's scared. And to have your child call and cry and say, I don't want to die, it's awful. And I don't understand why. That in his IEP, it was stated that in the intensive behavior group home that he was living in, if they ever had to remove it as a consequence, they called in the crisis team. And the original IEP called for a token economy for so he could, to motivate him to do his work. He could earn tokens to then go to like a snack closet. This year, he had a new teacher who it's not Joan. Joan was not his teacher. She's the para. He had a new teacher who it was her first year teaching, and I don't know if she didn't understand the IEP, if she didn't read it, but she approached the group home and asked the group home to send it in.
Listen, for anybody who watches that video, it's hard for them to get past it, and I can understand they'd be devastated for Joe Nadich, the victim in this attack, and I can imagine you feel.
First of all, so a couple things here. First of all, I give a lot of credit to the teacher for demanding justice. And maybe that seems like something that doesn't take a lot of courage because, well, yeah, you got attacked and of course you want the person punished. But these days, it shouldn't require courage for a victim to demand justice. But these days, it does. I mean, how many times have we seen victims in these situations disgrace themselves after the fact by making excuses for the attacker? I mean, we've even seen family members of victims who were killed turn around and say, well, I'm sure the person who committed the crime was disadvantaged by the system. I'm sure they lived a hard life. I mean, it's disgusting. It's actually disgusting. And especially from family members. I'm sorry, I know we shouldn't judge people going through something so difficult, but anytime you see one of these videos, like your own family member was killed, and your first thought is like, let's be nice to the... But we know why they do that. It's bowing to social pressure. It's this political correctness and wokeness that people, even in moments of crisis, will still abide by. So I give a lot of credit to her for not playing that game. She wants justice. She's demanding it. And she should get it. As for the attacker here, I get why his mom is pleading for mercy. I don't blame her really for having that opinion. I do blame her a little bit for putting the victim on the spot. I mean, if you want to go on TV and say, I want my son, he's not as bad, whatever. You want to go on TV and talk about how he's really a good kid and all the rest of it. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe, but as the mother, I don't blame you for that. Putting the victim on the spot, though, and saying, I'm sorry this happened to you, but, like, there's no but there. You don't start your next sentence with a but. I'm sorry my son knocked you to the ground and beat you senselessly. But at the same time, even as the mom in this situation, you're still called to have some empathy yourself. So if you want people to have empathy for your son, then you need to show some. And saying, I'm sorry this happened to you, but. No but. So if I was her, you leave the victim, you don't say anything about it. You don't have the right to do that. You just don't have the right to call on the victim to be nice about this. You want to call on the court system, you want to just kind of generally advocate on your son's behalf, I get it. But in fact, I do blame her for sort of using this public emotional manipulation against the victim specifically. You just have no right to do that. And whether we understand the mother's feeling here or not, doesn't matter, because I think the answer from the court system should be no. Please have mercy on my son. No. We will not have mercy. This man, and he is a man, he's not a kid, he's 18 now. This man has to be removed from society. He has to be segregated from civilized society. He is not fit to be a part of society. He cannot be allowed to walk free. It's that simple. Autistic, hard life, emotionally troubled, whatever, doesn't matter. Like, I don't care, actually. Oh, my son's autistic. Don't care. I would have cared before this. Before he, pounced on top of that woman and tried to beat her to death. If you had told me before that, my son has autism, I would have cared. I would have been very sympathetic. But after that happens, I don't care anymore. And I know that makes me cruel in most people's eyes. Because I know that these days, that's the kind of thing, somebody brings up, something like this happens, someone brings up autism. It's supposed to be like, oh, well, okay, well, in that case, I'm so sorry. No, I don't care. He should still go to prison forever. In fact, 30 years, 30 years is too light. I'd put him in jail forever. Never to see free, never to walk free again. Because he did what he did, and that's it. He demonstrated that he is a danger to society. And that is all that matters now. Are you a few years or even a few decades out of school and wondering, what the heck did I even learn? Or what was the point? You might even be thinking, I don't have the time to learn something new. Well, if that's you, you're not alone, and it's not too late. Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses. Learn about the works of C.S. Lewis, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, or the history of the ancient Christian church with Hillsdale College's online courses. If you're not sure where to start, check out American Citizenship and Its Decline with Victor Davis Hanson. In this 8-lecture course, Victor explores the history of citizenship in the West and the threats that it faces today. Threats like the erosion of the middle class, the disappearance of our borders, the growth of an unaccountable deep state, and the rise of globalist organizations. The course is self-paced so that you can start whenever and wherever you want. Start your free course of American Citizenship and Its Decline with Victor Davis Hanson today. Go to hillsdale.edu/Walsh to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. That's hillsdale.edu/Walsh to enroll. hillsdale.edu/Walsh. Everyone knows I love my Helix mattress, but have you checked out their Helix Elite line? Helix has harnessed years of extensive mattress expertise to bring their customers a truly elevated sleep experience. The Helix Elite collection includes 6 different mattress models, each tailored for specific sleep positions and firmness preferences. I've had my Helix for years and I love it. It's the best mattress I've ever had. If you're nervous about buying a mattress online, you don't have to be. Helix has a sleep quiz that matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress, because why would you buy a mattress made for somebody else? Go to helixsleep.com/Walsh Take their 2-minute sleep quiz and find the perfect mattress for your body and sleep type. Your mattress will come right to your door for free. Plus, Helix has a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will, trust me. Their financing options and flexible payment plans make it so that a great night's sleep is never far away. Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for my listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/Walsh. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Here's how I look at it. Either he brutally attacked the woman because he's autistic and doesn't know any better, which I don't buy, by the way. Maybe he's autistic, maybe he's not, I don't know. The fact that means that he doesn't know any better, I don't buy that. But either that's the case, in which case he certainly cannot be trusted in society ever again. If you're telling me that this is a kid, quote unquote, who you need a crisis management team on staff to take his Nintendo Switch away, and he's 6'6", right, 200 plus whatever pounds, and you need to have a whole SWAT team on staff just to take his, that we cannot ever trust him anywhere in society. Would you want to ride on a bus next to that guy? Would you want him living next door to you? No. He's a danger to everyone if that's how he is. It doesn't matter why. If that's the case, if he doesn't know any better and he can't help it, he's a danger to society, he has to be removed from society. If he attacked the woman because he wanted to, and he could have chosen otherwise, but he just decided to do it because he wanted to, well, then he can't be trusted in society ever again. Either way, the conclusion is the same. In fact, you could argue, I think quite convincingly, that if some kind of mental handicap caused this, that's even more reason to permanently segregate him from society. This is what I will never understand about the mental challenges excuse. Because if it's true, then that's all the more reason why this person cannot ever, if they're not even capable of understanding why they shouldn't do that, obviously they can never be trusted in society ever again. You know, if he's being driven by forces outside of his control to lash out violently, well, that's very sad. But it makes him a danger to society, and we have to respond to that danger. I've said this many times. We must choose between mercy for innocent victims or mercy for violent thugs. You cannot show mercy to both. You can't. Anyone who tells you can is lying. One or the other. Zero-sum game. Mercy to one group comes at the expense of the other. So who should lose here? Someone has to lose. Either we put innocent people in danger by being merciful to dangerous people, or we punish dangerous people. And those dangerous people are going to live terrible, awful lives for the rest of their lives. I mean, the idea of being locked in a cage for the next 30 years is awful. It's a terrible thing. That this man his whole life is wasted now. It's awful. It's terrible. It really is. It's really terrible. But either we say, too bad, to him, or we say it to his next victim. Those are the choices. Someone gets the short end of the stick, somebody loses. And so who should lose? Who should the justice system prioritize? The woman who got beat half to death, or the guy who did the beating? I mean, it's not even a question, or it shouldn't be. It's not even a difficult ethical. People say, oh, it's so difficult, so many difficult ethical. No, it's not. It's really easy. It's super easy. There are a lot of emotions that are maybe tied up in it, but in terms of what is the right thing to do, really easy. The other problem with the mental illness excuse is that literally everyone who commits a brutally violent crime could be or has been diagnosed with something. Okay, all of these people by definition are mentally deficient in some way. A lot of them have very low IQs. A lot of them suffer from delusions. A lot of them have trouble controlling their emotions. A lot of them have trauma in their past. I mean, you don't go out and commit a barbaric crime that's sure to land you in prison for decades unless you are a mentally disturbed person. And like I said, even aside from the mental illnesses, the low IQ is plays a factor here. You watch any of these videos of somebody like brutally just on camera in front of everyone, savagely beating someone. In most of those cases, if you were to measure that person's IQ, it's probably like 60. And you could probably say, well, if that person had like even 30 more IQ points, they might not even done that because they'd be smart enough to know that however you are feeling, you can't react that way because it's going to ruin your life. And that's probably true. But so what? These are crimes that by their nature are only ever committed by people who have, to use the modern phrase, mental health challenges. And so, okay, so how does that change anything? You know, you often hear people say when they're calling for us to be compassionate, they say, well, put yourself in that person's shoes. You know, if you were raised that way, if you were abandoned as a child, if you were abused, if you ended up in foster care, you know, if you had a low IQ, as I'm sure this person does, if you were autistic, if you had, right? Like you take me and put me, give me all the exact same circumstances as that guy. Everything exactly the same as him. I'd probably do what he did because I'd be him. And so it stands to reason since I'm him, I'm doing whatever he does. That to me, that's like, it's a truism, but it doesn't mean anything functionally for the justice system. Because one of the primary functions here is to segregate dangerous people from society. That's not the only function of the justice system. It is also to punish evil. And what he did is evil and it should be punished, autistic or not. But the other big thing is to protect society. And when it comes to that function, it really doesn't matter why you did it. All that matters when it comes to that part of it is, are you a danger to others? And if you are, you cannot be a part of society. That's it. It'd be like if you said, oh no, don't punish that man for stealing. You don't understand. He struggles with greed. He's very greedy. That's why he stole. He struggles with it. Yeah, we get that. Kind of picked up on that based on context clues. That's not an excuse though. That's just like a description. Hey YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.